In this video, I will tell you about mirror and scale command of AutoCAD. So here in this case, we have the simple geometry and a text here, and you can create the mirror image of both of these geometries in AutoCAD. So I'll start with this simple geometry here. So in order to create a mirror image of this geometry, select the mirror tool from the modify panel. And now look at the command line, which prompts you to select the objects. So select the object and press enter. Now the command line prompts you to specify the first point of mirror line. So click anywhere in the drawing area, that will be the first point, and now click at the second point of mirror line. And now you can see that a mirrored copy of original object will be made. And now click here and now look at the command line. So now it prompts you to specify whether you want to erase the source object or not. So we don't want to erase this source object. So I'll select no, the default value, and simply press enter. So here we have the mirrored image. Now let's say that we want to make a mirror image of both of these objects on the upward side. So for that, I'll once again select the mirror tool. Now select both of these objects, press enter, and now specify this as the first mirroring point and this one as the second mirroring point, and simply press enter. Here we have it, the geometry as per our requirement. Now in case you want to make a complete mirror image of all of these four geometries somewhere over here, for that you can again select the mirror tool, select the complete set of objects, press enter. Now again you need to specify the mirroring line. So I'll select this as the first mirroring line and this point as the second mirroring line. And now let's erase the source object in this case. So I'll click on yes, and the source object is deleted and a copy of that object is made here. So now let's press Ctrl Z a couple of times to return back to the original geometry. Now we'll try the mirror tool on this text also. So select the mirror tool, select the text, press enter. Now click at a point and then click at second point and press enter. But in this case, you'll notice that the mirror copy has not been made. It is simply a copy of this original object, and these two objects are not laterally inverted as it was in case of this object. So in order to make a mirror image of text, you need to ensure that the mirror text system variable is set to 1. So I'll make a copy of this object here. And now I'll apply the mirror tool once again on this text. So before that, I'll change the system variable. So let's type mirror text and change its value to 1 and press enter. Now select the mirror tool, select the text, press enter, specify the first point and the second point and press enter. Now we have it as a mirror image, and you can compare it with the original copy or the original mirror image which we have made without using the mirror text system variable. So in this case, the mirror text system variable was set to 0. In this case, it was set to 1. So I'll once again type mirror text and I'll change its value to default 0. Now let's look at the scale tool. So here we have a simple geometry, and now let's assume that we want to increase the size of this geometry. So in order to increase the size, you can use the scale tool. So simply select the scale tool here on the modify panel, select the object, press enter, and now look at the command line. It now prompts you to specify the base point. So base point will be the point which will remain fixed when the object will be elongated or contracted. So when the size of this object will change, the base point will remain fixed. So I'll select this lower left corner as the base point, and now you'll notice that the size of object changes along with our cursor. So you can either select the cursor, or you can dynamically apply the size using the cursor, or you can also enter a scale factor. So in order to increase the size, simply add a value which is greater than 1. So if you add a value 1.5, then the size will increase to 1.5 times of the original value. So if you type a scale factor of 2, it will make a geometry which is twice the size of original object. If you type 3, it will make a geometry of thrice the size, and so on. Similarly, if you type 0.5 as a scale factor, it will decrease the size to half of its original value, and so on. So I'll type 1.2 in this case and press enter. And here we have it. The larger geometry has been made. So now let's press Ctrl Z to get back to the original geometry. Now, in case you want to make a copy of this object after scaling, then you need to select that corresponding option. So I'll select the scale tool again, select the object, press enter, specify the base point, And now here we have an option of copy. So let's select this copy option, and now let's reduce its size to half of its original value. So I'll type 0.5, press enter, and now you'll notice that we have a copied image. Let's select and move it outside. So the size of this object is half of the size of this object in all of these dimensions. So let's now press Ctrl Z to return back to the original geometry. Now in this case, the size of this object is somewhat close to 950 units, and let's make a line which is equal to 1000 units. So I'll make a line of length 1000 units. And here we have it. So now you can see that there is a slight gap between this endpoint and this line. So let's assume that we want to scale this drawing in such a way that the base length becomes 1000 units and all the remaining length stretches in the similar proportion. For that, we can use scale reference option. So once again, go to the scale tool and now select the object and press enter. Now specify the base point, which we have specified in the previous case also, and from the command line select this reference option. Now we need to specify the reference length, which is the length of this line from this point to this point. So I'll simply click at this point, and now I'll click at this point. So that's the reference length. Now you need to specify the new length, and the new length is 1000 units. So simply stretch it and click at the end of this 1000 unit length line. So click here, and here we have it. So now the base length is equal to 1000 units and the remaining lengths are proportionally changed. So you can now erase that original line. It's no longer required. So in this way, you can use mirror and scale command in AutoCAD.